Hey guys, good to see you today, even though I'm not actually seeing you today. Well, we are going to work on you all's lesson for today, even though I'm not here. We're going to just do this in a remote sort of fashion. Excuse me. Today, we are going to be working on lesson 18. This is pre-algebra. Make sure we're on the same page here. We're doing lesson 18. With this, we're going to be learning about absolute value. Okay? All right. Absolute value, we're going to look at the idea of direction and distance. Okay, we've got our number line. Here I have my 0. Out here I have a 4. Over here I have a -4, right? All right. If I look at this, my distance right here is 4. And over here, this is also 4. Okay, and that's dealing purely with distance. This over here, I've gone to the right. Here I've gone to the left. Okay, this is dealing with direction. Okay, so we can deal with two different things. We can deal with distance, we can deal with direction. Here, up here, I could say that D equals 4. And D equals 4. In both sides, my distance is equal to 4. All right, so if I look at this, -4 and +4, they are both 4 units from 0. Okay, this has to do with distance. All right. Absolute value is the distance between two numbers. The distance between two numbers. Okay, so as we look up here, there was that idea right here that my distance in both instances was 4, regardless of which side of the number line I was on. Okay, so this is going to be the distance between 2 points on a number line. The distance between 0 and +4 is 4. Between 0 and -4 is 4. All right, so looking at that idea, the distance between two numbers on the number line. We're not going to worry with absolute value. We're not focusing in on the direction. We're going to take direction out of the equation and purely look at distance. Okay? All right, look at this. Say if we had a highway. Okay? Here's my highway. There's the center of my road, blah, 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 blah. Here in Atlanta, it would be a big old median thing, right? A wall. All right, and here people can get off of the highway here. People can get on the highway here. Okay, so we're going to get on here, our handy-dandy little vehicle. Ignore my lousy-looking vehicle, but it's okay. You get the idea, right? So I've got my vehicle. I'm going to get on the highway right there. Over here, I can also get on the highway here. I can have my vehicle. I draw old-timey looking pickup trucks, right? Looks like an old truck. Okay, so that my truck can get on the highway here, or a truck can get on the highway here, and then it could also get back off the highway here. I'm going to look at the idea that this is going to be mile marker 10. This is also going to be mile marker 10. The mile markers are the same on both sides of the highway. So this is mile number 10 on the highway. And this is mile number 82. Okay, mile number 82. So for this guy that's going this direction right here, he gets on at mile marker 10. He gets off at mile marker 82. So I look at the idea that he goes from mile marker 10 up to 82, right? And then this guy over here, he starts at 82 and goes to 10. So he goes from mile marker 82 to mile marker 10. All right, so if I'm entering, And you know, nowadays, they, as I say, mile marker, they even have the exit numbers or the miles, okay? So if I am entering, gave you two E's there, okay? If I'm going to enter at 82 and exit at 10, at 10, I've got the idea of my distance being 10 minus 82, being a negative 72, okay? I went from 82 down to 10. A negative 72 is not a distance. That doesn't make sense. Here, going from 10 up to 82, we can see the idea that I went 72 miles, right, on this one. But right here, if I'm looking at going from 82 to 10, and this might make more sense if I wrote this as that might make more sense if I wrote this way, that here I went from 82 to 10, and that would be a negative 72 miles. Can you travel negative 72 miles? No. You travel 72 miles. So what I'm looking at here is the difference between 82 and 10. I'm not going to go 10, excuse me. I'm not going to go 10 minus 82 equals negative 72. I would wind up looking at 10, and then we would look at this more as an absolute value so that I can get just my plain 72, because this needs to be 72 miles. All right, so let's look. I will give you some absolute values examples here. So there's the idea that distance cannot be negative. Distance always has to be positive. Distance is an absolute value. There is no negative involved in distance. Okay, so as I'm looking here, if I wanted to look at that, I would do 82 minus 10. The absolute value of that is 72. That makes sense either direction. But if I said 10 minus 82, okay, this guy who got on a mile marker 82 and went until 10, 10 minus 82, the absolute value of that is going to be 72. We use these bars right here to indicate the fact that I'm going to get the answer, the 82 minus 10 or the 10 minus 82. Here I would naturally get a 72. Here I would get a negative 72. But with these absolute value bars, that's going to give me just my straight up 72. Okay? So if I have the absolute value of 9, that will equal 9. The absolute value of negative 9 is also going to equal 9. Okay? The absolute value of negative 12 is going to equal positive 12. All right? So let's look at this. If I have the opposite, or I'll look at negative, which would be the opposite of negative, the absolute value of negative 12. All right? That's going to be the same as, I'm going to keep this negative sign out here, but then I get my positive inside because the absolute value of 12 is positive 12. All right? So there my answer is going to be negative 12. All right, so if I'm wanting to keep my negative sign, it's going to have to be on the outside of my absolute value bars. Okay? Let's look at another example here. How about if I've got negative, the absolute value of 2 squared minus 10. All right? So we'll keep my negative. All right? Going to keep that there. What is the absolute? And my 2 squared is going to become 4. And my minus 10. All right? So this is going to equal negative the absolute value of negative 6, okay? Because 4 minus 10 is negative 6. So I'm going to come out as negative 6. All right? We could potentially look at those two negatives making a positive, But remember, this negative is going to go away when I get my absolute value. So that's the absolute value of 6 is positive 6, but this negative on the outside is going to make that negative. Okay? Let's look at another example here real quick. All right. Let's say we have 6 plus 6. We're going to square it, plus the absolute value of 100 minus 1 minus 14 squared equals 5 times 9 plus b. Okay? The 6 plus 6 is going to be 12, right? So that's 12 squared, plus the absolute value of 10 minus 1 is 99. Okay? I've got this negative here, which is going to stay right there. The 14 squared is 196. All right, the negative is not being squared, just the 14. If I wanted the negative squared as well, I would have had to put this in parentheses. All right? 5 times 9 is 45 plus b. All right? What's 12 squared? Okay, 12 times 12 is going to be 144 plus 99 minus 196 equals 45 plus b. All right, as I combine all of these things together, I want to take this 45, I'm going to subtract 45 from both sides, right? So when I put all of that together, I wind up with, when I take 144 plus 99 minus 196 minus 45, I get 2. So b equals 2. All right? I am going to end this video because I have found that my videos can only be so long, and then I will come back and give you guys a couple of them to do, and we are going to do some honors ones as well.